Welcome, Scorpios, my lovely Scorpios, my beloved Scorpios, to your weekly astrology forecast. This is for the dates of, March 6th through the 13th. So you know in and around what's going on. There's a lot going on this week, Scorpio. So we're going to dig right into the astrology, the major planetary transits and aspects that are impacting all of you. And what I do is I break Scorpio down into its 3 decans. So that's Scorpio 1, Scorpio 2, Scorpio 3, because we're taking this from the position of the sun. This is definitely from the position of your sun sign astrology. But what I will say is, if you know astrology well enough, the angles are the angles. So the angle of Pluto to whatever, the angle of Mars to whatever is going to be the same. So if you know that you have your rising sign in Scorpio 2, so between 10 and 20 degrees Scorpio, or you know your moon is between 20 and 30 degrees Scorpio, which is Scorpio 3, then you can superimpose those. You can change those words around and just be for the moon, but you do have to know how the moon is going to interact with that planet that it's aspected to. I'm not going to go into that. Sometimes I will if I think about it, but primarily we're taking this from the position of the sun, okay? Like I said, from March 6th through the 13th of 2023, Scorpio, this is your astrology forecast. So, what are the big transits this week? Well, the big transit this week that doesn't have anything directly to do with Scorpio, but it's general, is Saturn. Saturn is moving into Pisces, which is a huge shift in just mentality overall. We also have a beautiful full moon in Virgo. We'll talk a little bit about that. Both of those things are happening the day this video comes out. So both of this stuff is happening on March 7th. So how does that impact you? Well, Saturn moving into Pisces will actually directly impact Scorpio ones. Now, why is that? Because it's going to be its position right now. It's not going to change degrees much in the sky, so ultimately it's still going to be trine to those of you who have your sun in Scorpio 1, especially if your natal sun is between 0 and 5 degrees Scorpio. Saturn you'll definitely feel the impact, because Scorpio 1s, not only do you have your natal sun there, but you also have the south node conjunct to your natal sun. So there is sort of an energy overload there. Mercury right now is loosely trine to you guys, which means that you will have fair speech. You'll find, unlike me, you'll find it easy to speak, to talk, to communicate your thoughts and your ideas, and to find or discover information. You might actually have information that comes to you that is very helpful this week. But when it comes to being trine to Saturn, I think it's even better, because that means that you will have a fluent and harmonious relationship with the authority figures in your life. This combined with the fact that Scorpio ones, say between 0 and 10 degrees Scorpio, are going to be more trine to Mercury. Those at the very beginning of Scorpio season, so we're talking like October 21st, 22nd, 23rd Scorpios are the ones that are going to experience this trine with Saturn. And the trine will last for a while, so you guys will benefit from this energy. And how do you benefit? Well, guys, you're going to benefit because of the harmony that it brings to your sense of to your relationship with authority figures. So I gotta say, this is a perfect time for you guys to interview for a job, interview to get into a school, interview to just like people will like you, they'll want to hire you, they'll trust you. There's a reliability about your energy and your character right now, and especially if you're right in the middle and you have that trine to Mercury too, you'll be able to present present yourself extremely well so that you possess authority on that subject. You demonstrate authority on a subject to a level of competency and trustworthiness, and you'll definitely earn the attention and trust of people who are authority figures, or even if they're not directly your authority figures, people who are in positions of authority. So this is good stuff. Could even be talking about relations with your father. If you have, this is a great time to speak or talk or communicate with your dad. Some exceptional and interesting information might come out. So if you are Scorpio, hold on, I just want to check. You guys know that I write it down all the time, absolutely. And I don't have many visuals here because I'm just not such a great video maker, but I will try to be more specific when it comes to birthdays, though those are general estimates. The degrees are more specific, and you can find your degrees in your natal chart. If you just run a free natal chart, they're all over the internet. You'll be able to find out which degree your sun sits on, because remember, each zodiac sign is broken into 30 degrees because they occupy 30 degrees of the 360 degree zodiac wheel, which is a circle. A circle is 360 degrees, right? This is all basic geometry. So within your little slice, you're one of the 12 slices, Scorpio. There's 30 degrees within that. So your sun sits on one of those degrees. And if your sun is between 0 and 10 degrees, you're a decant 1. Why? Because the aspects to your sun will be similar. All of you guys will be within that 10 degree capability of the aspect for the aspect to impact you. But if you're born at the end of Scorpio season, you're not going to have that same capacity, right? Because we really only count aspects if they're within at most 10 degrees. For me, it's 5 degrees. So it's keeping that really small and focusing on the different sections of Scorpio that's really going to really help me help you understand what's actually going to be impactful, because honestly, it's so frustrating, isn't it? And please feel free, tell me if you agree, and while you're at it, subscribe to this channel if you really like this kind of deep astrology dive that we do weekly. Please do subscribe to the channel. I hope you do. And ring that notification bell. Scorpio gets uploaded on Tuesdays, FYI. But just so that we can dig down deep, because if you're born in the beginning of Scorpio season, the planetary aspects are not going to be impacting you the same as those born toward the end of Scorpio season. There's almost 30 degrees between you. I mean, that's the difference between a square and a trine, which is a huge difference in terms of how you guys are going to be interacting with that planetary energy, right? So if I did a more general Scorpio type of reading, it would be too general, right? Because if I said, oh, you guys are going to be harmonious with Saturn, but only if you're Scorpio ones. You know, if you're toward the end of Scorpio season, you don't have the same relationship with Saturn. FYI. So Scorpio 3s, like I said, you're going to be square to Saturn and sextile to Pluto. This is really interesting because you will have a lot of opportunity to make a huge impact on people. This is something that you need to know, Scorpio 3s. So those of you who are born closer to the Sagittarius cusp, for those of you, I would say watch out for how you talk around authority figures, because you could be butting heads with them and coming into challenge with them, and the sextile with Pluto will make it so impactful that there could be like an end to something, like an end. You'll have a dramatic impact on whoever you talk to, but you might butt heads with people who think they're in charge, or with rules, laws, or regulations. If you're doing some kind of protest, this would be a great time for you guys, because honestly, it's like a sextile provides an opportunity, and a sextile to Pluto would provide you with an opportunity to have an extreme impact or have an extreme effect on somebody. As long as it's not an authority figure, that will work out to your benefit. But if it is an authority figure, watch out, because there could be some major clashes. FYI. For those of you who are born mid-Scorpio season, so this is kind of like November 2nd to November 12th, in and around there, you guys, your natal sun is in direct opposition to Uranus. It's been that way for a while. It's not like I'm surprising you. This has been that way for a while, and I gotta tell you, it's gonna be that way for like another 2 years. Those of you who are born around these dates, you probably already noticed a lot of changes happening to your life, and whether they're good or bad, they're not necessarily in your control. And that's what oppositions are. Oppositions are real blind spots. So even if good things were happening, it's like you didn't see it coming. And to a sign like Scorpio, just the fact that it's not predictable and the fact that it's out of your control is uncomfortable. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad things. It's like, yay, surprise party for Scorpio, but like the discomfort of not knowing and not being able to prepare. So what does that mean with Uranus? Well, Uranus is even more surprises. Uranus is even more outside of the box thinking. So a lot of this could be catching you off guard and catching you by surprise. And I would just say this is a lesson for the next couple of years for you guys. This is a lesson in going with the flow, thinking outside of the box, and changing, allowing yourself to change, not necessarily in extreme ways, but dynamic ways. This has to do with intellect and thinking broader. Could even be opportunities, a great opportunity for a higher education, say especially college level. Because Uranus is in Taurus, it is kind of surrounded by the energy of finances and value. So you guys may have been experiencing and may for the next 2 years be, so we're talking about the next week, right? But now you understand the astrology behind why these curveballs may be thrown at you when it comes to finances. Of course, it's also an exceptional time to start looking at outside of the box or untraditional, unconventional ways to make money. You could legitimately just YouTube that, like legitimate unconventional ways to make money, unusual ways to make, like it won't even give you freaky stuff. There's a lot of things that you can do remotely and stuff like that. So this might be a fantastic time for you. You might surprise yourself. That's where the surprise may come from for you guys. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, this the next couple of years is going to be great energy for you to do it. Also, I have to say, where the sun is now, Scorpio 2s, it's beautiful. It's a trine. The current sun is forming a trine. Current sun is in Pisces, mid Pisces, and it's forming a trine to your natal suns. So it's actually an exceptional time to look for different applications of this unusual energy, this think outside of the box, different ways to make money, because you might find your best luck and fortune and the most fluent opportunities there. So check that out. Let's see. So Scorpio 3s, you guys are trying to Neptune, but you have been for a while. You know, I mean, this is actually a difficult position here because you're square to Saturn where it is now as it enters Pisces, which will go a little bit easier on you. You're sextile Pluto and you're trine to Neptune. So there is this energy of, maybe taking extreme action, especially when it comes to your faith or your belief system, or even your different ideas, a sense of sort of having a real poignancy about you. But with Neptune trine your natal sun, this is going to make you creative and imaginative. It could be why there's more of a chance to have clashes when it comes to laws, legalities, or authority figures, because that's so fixed and stagnated, and there's a part of you right now that wants to expand and grow. Now, for those of you who are Scorpio 2s, I marked this down. You guys would be quincunx, which is kind of it's frustrating aspect to this Jupiter Chiron conjunction that'll be happening through April. And Venus is still with them in the early parts of this week. That's why it really pertains to this week. So if there are great opportunities, for you to grow your finances and sort of spread out from what you've learned and how you've suffered and how you've struggled in the past. But I will say the quincunx is it's frustrating. It's going to be very frustrating. It may frustrate you that you're even sort of reliving or experiencing some of these challenges, or that some of these challenges aren't worked out yet. But this does give you a great opportunity to use this energy to grow and expand this week. So definitely, Scorpio 2s, double down on your, potential other opportunities or outside of the box opportunities to solve or fix or help to expand on any solve or fix, get you out of any kind of financial difficulties you may have been having, and help to expand and grow your financial portfolio. So Pluto is at the very end of Capricorn. It is now square to the South Node, which is conjunct to you, Scorpio ones. So early Scorpios, you guys are also kind of square to Pluto right now, which is a rough situation to be in. It is your ruling dignitary. There is a sense of extreme impact, or things constantly impacting you in an extreme way, which could be causing a lot of challenges right now. It's a great time for you to ground yourself. It's a great time for you to meditate or get into meditation, because it's just going to have everything's going to have such an extreme impact, especially the sense of, I want you out of your comfort zone. And Pluto is going to push to get you outside of your comfort zone, or to help you realize and utilize your comfort zone to help push you forward. So those are some of the things that you might want to take a look at for the next couple of years, actually, Scorpio ones. Mars is right now at 20 degrees Gemini. It is square to Neptune and square to the Sun. That'll affect you generally because Mars is your traditional ruler. That could also just cause a little bit of underlying frustration when it comes to finding words to convince people to get things done, or finding, taking action when it comes to speaking or writing out paperwork or anything like that. So overall, is it a challenging week? I wouldn't say these are huge challenges, to be honest with you. I think that most of them are sort of minor irritations that could add up. So Scorpio, little by little, step by step, increase your breath work, increase your grounding. And honestly, I think this could be very fortuitous, because when you step back and look at these challenges, you learn a lot about yourself and a lot about everybody else. Specifically though, for Scorpio 2s, I would say get on that. Start looking outside of the box at different kinds of financial opportunities. Could solve a lot of stuff for you. I love you guys so much. I hope to see you over at the Scorpio Tarot reading, where we do deep dives and get lots of information. Check out my new membership over here if you guys want to participate in these daily live astrology chats that we have. If you join the membership here, you'll be able to ask me personal questions, not questions about me, but you'll be able to ask me questions like Q&A. I'll even pull tarot cards for you if you want to ask me some card questions or astrology questions. I've never done that before in these lives, but I'm opening it up for people who join the membership on this channel. So please do check it out. I've also posted a link to a new channel that I have, which is called Soothing Sounds for Meditation and Sleep. Very different from what I do here. These are soothing ambient sounds like fire crackling or rain, or they're fire crackling and rain with some minor instruments and piano or other instruments playing. It's all just music to fall asleep to soothe your dog, soothe your animals, soothe your household. You can just let the videos play in the background. And I encourage you and ask you to go subscribe to the channel and help us grow over there too. I love you, Scorpios, and now I will see you next week. Bye.